Okay, all right. Hey, we are live. This is Keeping Up with the Kilduffs. I'm
Hi.
Paul Kilduff, and this is my brother John,
Hi.
Mr. Let's Paint TV Kilduff.
Hello.
And one of the main reasons, probably the only reason we are doing this show again is because there was such overwhelming demand for us to do it again. Uh,
Yes,
from
that's correct.
our very, very, very successful first outing. And now that we've worked the kinks out, and we know, how to do this Facebook Live thing, here we are. And wow, it's just, it's tremendous. John, thanks for joining us. John, of course, live in Los Angeles. I'm in San Francisco, so it's a very left coast, west coast kind of thing
That's
that
right.
we're doing live right now. And I'm glad you could be here. I kind of feel like Wolf Blitzer almost.
Well, without any kind of
So without
like
any
redundance, we're not going to give you the same spiel and just repeat ourselves. We're going to make a point to always say something new
right.
every minute, as opposed to repeat ourselves.
His show is called The Sit Room.
The Situation Room.
Well, but it's the, well,
You
this
call
is
it
the
the sit
this is
room.
the sit room. We're sitting on our asses. But this is the sit room.
It is true. We are sitting, and we basically pride ourselves on not having anything prepared, and
Right.
this is a perfect example.
But John, I'm glad you mentioned that because today I was having lunch in I was having a banh mi Vietnamese sandwich.
Oh, nice.
In the Mission District of San Francisco, which is very, very hip for me to be doing that. And I was actually having this sandwich in a supermarket, a kind of a rundown supermarket in the Mission, by myself, and off in the corner somebody's making banh mi sandwiches, Vietnamese sandwiches that have the cucumber and the grated carrot and
Yeah.
they're really good.
Aren't
So
those?
I'm sitting
Yeah,
there.
the variations. The Vietnamese sandwiches, by the way, are amazing.
They are. If you've not had one, please
Yes.
rectify that. So anyway, I'm there eating that sandwich, and I knew we were going to do this show today, and I saw a bus go by with the billboard, and it basically advertised doing this Facebook Live thing, and it said, "Here's how you do Facebook Live. Just turn it on, and then don't." And then the next instruction was, "Don't worry if no one has anything planned. You'll figure it out." And I thought to myself,
yeah, don't worry that no one's watching it either, by the way.
Yeah, don't worry that no one. So in other words, we don't have anything planned and no one is watching. So that is those are two things in our favor.
Now, we're reading the chats, and it looks like Janet is mentioning that the glasses might be an issue.
You mean Janet, my lovely wife?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I didn't want to out her on that, but yes.
Maybe we need to work on the glasses. Yeah, they're kind of making me look a little.
No, it's just the glare. There's a glare issue.
It's a glare issue.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't. Last time out, I wore the glasses and I was thinking that was kind of cool, but maybe that's not a good way to go. So we're gonna skip that, I think. And thank you for pointing that out on the text there. So John, what's on your mind on this beautiful Thursday evening?
Well, it's a almost crispy down here in Los Angeles. Of course, I'm down here in sunny Southern California, and it still has. It's barely. I mean, I'm trying to fake it, or I'm trying to wish that it's getting cold, but it's still pretty hot down here, at least during the day. And you can get that little crisp. There's a little a glistening amount of the fall, autumn stuff coming through. And
so in other words, what you're telling me is that you're trying, as someone who's basically lived in LA longer than you lived up here, you're sort of
That's right.
You're harkening. You would like to have some sense of a change of season into fall here, but it's not really. It's not really happening. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I think that's an underestimate or a misnomer in the idea that there's not a season here in Los Angeles. There's multiplicities. There's multiple seasons.
There are many seasons.
Yes.
So what are the seasons
but they
down
break
there?
down differently.
The seasons down there are what? It's like smoggy, not smoggy.
Well, windy. We get the windy days.
Hot, not so hot. Is that basically?
Yeah, sneeze fest. Like serious pollen sneeze something going on.
I remember when I lived down there, the seasons, I noticed that after it rained, you could see the mountains.
Yeah, and that's pretty neat, huh?
That was kind of cool.
It's kind of special.
Within a couple of days, the smog would come back and you couldn't see.
Yeah. Well, you have to. I would say that hand it to the California Regulatory Commission or whoever, EPA, whoever's like trying to regulate the smog content that is takes over a city. Los Angeles has done a lot better of late, and you can only look over to China and the cities over there where they have to wear those little masks, and you can't look out the window because it's a big fog bank, but it's smog. That's not really the case here in Los Angeles anymore. Now, it was in the 70s, but I guess maybe we're going back to that possibly.
Well,
I mean, now we're just bringing in the end of the world doom and gloom.
Doom and gloom on.
Yeah.
Well, I mean.
I don't know. I don't think that's going to happen, but we're working on it.
But I think, you're exactly right, John. There's no question that Los Angeles is a case study in the impact of smog regulations on a city, because you were exactly right. Back in the day, back in the 70s or whatever, it was terrible. It was really bad, and it's vastly improved. So, but where did this start? Oh yeah, we started with
weather,
not having seasons. Now what's going on up here?
Yeah, what's going on up there?
It's hella cold, as you can see.
Oh.
I'm wearing my big Lebowski sweater.
Okay.
And a hat. I'm wearing a hat indoors.
Well, that's what I always do that anyway. I'm a big hat. I'm a big hat and indoors, and in fact, occasionally I'll go into a church or a place of reverence, and they like take off your hat, and I'm like,
right.
What?
Yeah.
Come on, man! I'm gonna take off my hat, and then I'm gonna get a cold in the name of God or something. It's like,
you're
come on.
Connected to that headgear. I know I'm the same way. I have a lot of hats. I wear a lot. You've heard the expression, somebody wears a lot of hats. I actually do wear a lot because I have a lot of hats.
Right, and you also wear a lot of shoes.
Bald.
You wear a lot of shoes too.
Yeah, I'm a big shoe guy.
Biggest shoe and hat guy.
Shoe hat guy.
Yeah.
Well, there's worse things that you could be. I'm kind of like the Jay Leno of hats and shoes. That's probably what I am. I should have a show.
Well, you got a show right now. What are you talking about? Keeping up with the Kilduff.
Yeah, but I should have like a warehouse in Burbank where I just show everybody all my hats and shoes and.
That would be like right after Jay Leno's car garage show on MSNBC, whatever it is on. What's that channel that no one gets? What's the channel?
CNBC? I actually get that.
Well, I get it. I think everyone kind of gets it, but no one actually watches it. It's like it's a
I actually watched that show. It's a good show. I like Jay Leno.
Okay.
Let me just say, can I just say this about the defense of Jay Leno? Because I think a lot of people, and I think Jay Leno deserves this, and a lot of people, let's face it, the hipsters of the world, ever since the whole, Jay Leno versus David Letterman thing went down. And by the way, let's not forget that Jay Leno was on David Letterman's show like oodles of times in the 80s when he was on late night all the time. But when Jay Leno lobbied to get the Tonight Show and David Letterman did not, and then, was so disappointed. Everybody thought that Jay Leno was this big a-hole. But, I'm sorry. Jay Leno has always been I've found him to be very entertaining, and even though I went along with that sort of hipster, I don't like Jay Leno, I like David Letterman thing that goes back to the 90s, every time I would ever accidentally watch Jay Leno host The Tonight Show, I would always laugh. I always thought he was really funny. And the ratings bore that out. He did better than Letterman.
But he wasn't cool.
He doesn't get any credit.
He wasn't
for
cool.
beating Letterman all those years.
Yeah, but
so I'm not. I think we need revisionist history on Jay Leno versus David Letterman.
Well, it could be, but the stereotype was, and probably you can't shake it, is that he represented kind of boring middle of America comedy, and so it wasn't cutting edge.
He was too corny. He was too corny for the coasts.
Yes, exactly.
He's kind of like Donald Trump.
It's kind of Trumpian comedian, a typical Trump. Kind of he would probably be the court jester at a Trump gold-plated dinner reception or something.
I wonder who Jay Leno voted for. I don't know.
No, I don't think he necessarily would have voted for Trump. Frankly, I don't see that. That's just the misconception of someone like that, right? By the way, I'll have to say that I like Jay Leno too, because I saw him once drive one of his motorcycles while I was painting once, and he went by me, and he looked like he was having a good time. So Did
he wave? Did you have?
No, but he was waving at pretty much everyone else. I think everyone else noticed that it was him, and he didn't notice me or nothing. But I saw him, so I have lots of respect for Jay Leno now.
Here's kind of another little thing. If you want to get into Leno versus Letterman, if you watch The Tonight Show, you will remember when Jay Leno hosted the show, that Jay Leno himself would very often go out and do all this man in the street stuff. Do you remember that? He would go out and do all these crazy
jaywalking.
Yeah, he did all this stuff. He would just talk to random people on the street. David Letterman never once talked to anybody on the street. David Letterman always sent somebody else out for him. David Letterman is above.
Yeah, he was
talking to the average.
Yes, he was too. Yeah, right, and that's why
he's kind of an elitist.
That's
dick,
if you want to. I mean,
so
yeah.
David Letterman is not revered.
Yeah, screw Letterman. Screw Letterman.
David Letterman has completely disappeared. He's grown a big, ugly-ass beard. He doesn't do anything. You never see David Letterman on. He did one thing about climate change. You don't see David Letterman doing anything. Jay Leno still has a following and still performs. So I just think, I don't mean to. I'm not doing a rant here about Jay Leno versus David Letterman, but I am. Okay, I am.
So Jay Leno is winning the afterlife, kind of.
And let's talk about how terrible Conan O'Brien was as host of The Tonight Show. Why don't we talk about that?
Yeah, well, Eric J. Montoya, our good friend, says Leno screwed Conan.
Yeah, but Conan was terrible, and he got horrible ratings, so who cares, Conan screwed himself, I mean,
yeah.
Well,
who watches?
who
does anyone watch that
Conan
show? Who watches that? I mean, TBS.
Who watches Conan O'Brien? Who watches that show?
Well, who gets TBS or TBN or whatever that is?
What's it on T?
No, he's on TBN, Trinity Broadcasting Network.
Who cares? Nobody watches that show.
Well, no, someone does.
I never watched that show. I don't, and I get it. Unlike you, I never watch his show. Anyway,
you got some issues, my friend.
I have issues. Now let's talk about the election because we haven't really.
No.
I mean, let's get.
I'm escaping. I don't want to talk about it.
You don't want it, so you're just.
No, I could talk about it. You want to talk about it? Come on, let's talk about it.
All right,
come on.
So what is your theory, John? I've been kind of going on this rant. What's your take on what happened? How did we end up with Donald Trump as president-elect of the United
Yeah.
States?
Well, I think the idea of bad press is good press is really fits the bill with Donald Trump. I mean, the guy was even out-polled Hillary Clinton for worst, most
hated,
hated, and still he wins. So, and then maybe there could be some kind of hanky-panky with the hacking of various polling places in Florida or whatever. I don't know, but getting down to it. Yeah, okay. So I saw some fake news reports, which, by the way, Facebook is chock full of fake news, and so you can't even rely on the shit you read on Facebook anymore.
Well, thank God we're doing this fake show on Facebook.
Well, but at least we're letting you guys know that everything's fake.
Right, this whole thing is fake. Yeah.
We're fake and you're fake. But also getting down to it, I think also the surprise, people who voted for Trump also voted for Obama. So hello, something's going wrong. Something happened there, So.
Yeah. No, I think you.
Yeah, I hit the nails on a few different hammers.
Well, and it's funny because I was watching. Because I'm sort of. I've had lately. I've had to just turn off.
Exactly. I can't watch it anymore. I can't watch it anymore.
I can't watch it all the time. But I was watching a few days ago, and they had Ari Fleischer on, and I don't know if you remember this guy.
Huh.
But he was George W. Bush's, I believe, first press secretary.
Yeah, I kind of remember that guy.
Yeah, he's kind of an unlikely guy to be George W. Bush's press secretary because he's this New York Jewish guy and. Comes from this liberal family, whatever. But he was like, the mouthpiece for this conservative dummy.
Mm-hmm. And
so anyway, but what he said about Trump, I thought was very insightful. He said that, the American people do not take everything people say literally, but the press does.
That's a good point.
And Donald Trump was saying a bunch of stuff for effect and to get headlines and to get people excited and this and that, and that, he didn't mean it. He was just saying that stuff to sell himself, to get himself elected.
So to sort of have Tourette's.
The press is holding him to everything that he's saying.
Well,
because that's what the press does.
Right.
But, there's he didn't look at it that way.
So he didn't really mean what he said.
But more importantly, the American people
or
the ones who voted for him,
more
they
forgiving.
Look at it that way.
They're more forgiving.
Yeah,
in some way.
They're like, okay, yeah, right. And it's funny. I've talked to people who are when I've brought this up to people, I've said, come on. I remember this was like a year ago. I said to some guy who was a Trump supporter, I said, well, yeah, but really, he's going to deport 10 million illegal aliens. How's he going to do that? And the guy looked at me and he goes, he's not really, he was like, no, he's just saying that. He's not really, he doesn't really mean that, blah, blah, blah. In other words,
right.
people took it with a grain of salt, and the media doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
And so, Hillary Clinton's mistake, I think, was that she thought that everybody was as outraged, or not everybody. I mean,
well, I think her mistake is also she was a woman. There's that element, and she's a Clinton, and she's inherited all that bullshit that they had all those years ago. I mean, that didn't help.
I don't think I think there was a complete miscalculation on how popular the Clintons really were, and the way that they mistreated Bernie Sanders.
Well, that was not good.
That didn't help either.
But of course, you just can't help but think that there must have been some weird hanky-panky going on the RNC, but that we don't ever been told.
Well, here's something now. John, I know you probably don't listen to as much conservative talk radio.
Well, I will dabble in it. I
listen to, I kind of vacillate between sports talk and here's the thing, I'm not a conservative, but I like commercial talk radio. I don't like public radio talk radio. I prefer commercial talk radio. and because they get to the point. But the problem with that is that on commercial talk radio, it's all conservative, right? There's no liberal commercial talk radio. That's all on public radio, which is all about begging for money and, please send in money so you can get a coffee cup. And I don't want to hear. I don't want a coffee cup.
Just by the way, I just want to let everyone know you're watching Keeping Up with the Kilduffs. Brother Paul and myself, John, the Kilduff brothers, basically finding a way to talk to each other because otherwise we won't.
So, you're exactly right. So anyway, the point I'm making is that I've been listening to a little of this recently, and I believe it was
afterwards or before?
Yes, in the post.
Oh God, I don't want to hear them gloat. I don't want to hear the gloating.
No,
actually, I heard John and Ken talking about it. It was pretty good, I guess.
Well, here's what I think it was. I forget who it was. Anyway, it was one of these, conservative blowhards on AM commercial talk radio, and what he said was kind of interesting. Though he said, everyone thinks, okay, Hillary won the popular vote. Okay.
Yeah, right.
By a couple 100,000 votes. But
no, like 2 million.
2
million.
The guy made, no, it's only a couple hundred. It's not that many.
No, it's 2 million. That's what I heard.
Okay, all right, 2 million, whatever. It's not that many when you consider. But here's the thing. There's 7 million uncounted votes that'll probably never be counted. Those are votes that are primarily, mailed in votes. And, and it's been shown that those votes are always,
conservative, Republican.
Primarily Republican.
Republican, yeah.
So there is the potential that this could be, these uncounted votes are.
Stop being so loud.
We are on Facebook Live.
We're live.
I saw it on Mom's Facebook.
Okay, well that's fine.
We're doing a live show.
Live on Facebook, and this is my.
This is a
daughter,
TV show.
This is Alice, and she.
Alice. You're blowing our cover.
Keep it down. Anyway, the point, John. Here's the point: is that
you're not letting him talk either.
That's all right. I talk enough.
You're blabbing. You're yelling.
The point is that there's a very real possibility that if all the votes were counted, these 7 million uncounted votes that'll probably never be counted, there's a very real possibility that Donald Trump did actually win the popular vote. We'll never know because those votes are not going to be counted. That's all I'm trying to point out. So, that's an unpopular position. I didn't vote for Donald Trump.
Put this hat on
and I put on this hat and these glasses for this show.
Wear glasses.
I don't wear glasses.
Oh, really? So what did you put on? So you're like doing kind of like a Marky Mark, you like a rapper look or something.
It's kind of a,
CKYM jeans or something. Gloria Vanderbilt. You're going to be wearing some Anderson Cooper jeans here.
We're trying to
kind of get hip.
Hip things up a little bit.
Gotcha. Nice.
Give it that look.
Where's your Kangoo hat? Your Kangoo hat.
I worked at Calex Radio back in the 80s with the program director of KFI, Robin Bertolucci. And if she is ever going to watch this show, she will know how popular we are. And there's a very real possibility that you and I will someday
KFI
be on KFI. I mean, I think there's a real possibility. Not.
Yeah. But then again, you never know.
Hey,
you never know.
Robin Bertolucci, if you are watching this right now, I'm still alive, and so is my brother. So there you go. And I think we're just as talented as Tim Conway Jr., and I can say Amco Bub or whatever it is that you need. So there you go. All right. Let's move on.
Yeah.
So I said that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Let's move on because it just went into a dead end there.
Yeah.
We just backed in to the.
We just made sure that we'll never get a show
to a dead end. No,
yeah.
just no one cares, eh?
Nobody cares.
No one cares you're talking about.
No,
us.
I do care.
You care.
I care. All right.
We have one person watching our live feed apparently. Two people.
Person.
Two people.
I love it.
Yes. We're very popular on Facebook Live.
One person is actually watching?
Two people. Two people it says that is watching the show right now.
That is fantastic.
So we're really we got up to 3. So we're really able to retain our viewers.
So I mean, here's the other thing I wanted to say, John.
Yeah.
Just get this out there to our vast, because they're just because people are, they're gonna watch this later, but I wanted to say this too. I think it's really kind of tragic because we have a president-elect now who made 2 promises to the important people that he needed to get to vote for him in the Rust Belt states, Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Iowa, all those places that Hillary Clinton wouldn't venture into. And what Donald Trump said to those people was, number 1, I'm going to get rid of Obamacare. Number 2, I'm going to bring back your $30, $40, $50 an hour job at the widget factory. And neither one of those things are going to happen. Number 1 is he's already backpedaled on Obamacare because he's already said, well, we're going to keep the deal on Obamacare where, if you have a pre-existing condition.
Well, that's pretty nothing. That's a nothing problem.
Yeah,
what they're going to get rid of, though.
Dude, but see, that's the thing. That is Obamacare in a nutshell.
No, okay? Obamacare, for me, is government basically subsidized health care, because otherwise health care is way too expensive. So that's where I'm coming from. I don't care about pre-existing. That should be a given. But what they're going to take away is basically my health care.
No, but I mean the thing is,
unless I get a job at KFI with you,
yeah.
and I can make millions of dollars, then it's not a problem.
Well, it could happen. And
well, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make it happen, I guess. Make America great.
Make KFI great again.
I don't know.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
So that's
where anyway.
Then the other thing that's not going to happen, that he's made this empty promise to people who bought into it, is that he said, I'm going to bring back your jobs. Well, here's the problem with that. All of those jobs now, the manufacturing jobs, a lot of those jobs are never coming back. And what those jobs really are is programming computers, robots to do the welding or whatever it is, and so if you don't have those technical skills, you're not going to be doing that job. And so, he's a lot of jobs have just gone away because of automation.
Yeah, well, they interviewed some of those people I saw after the fact, after the election, and they were in a coffee shop like in Minnesota or whatever, Michigan or whatever. And these guys were like, yeah, we know we're not going to get our jobs back. We just want somebody to say that they're going to get us their jobs back. That's all.
Right, exactly.
Is that your call? Is that your call?
That's a call. We've got a call coming in. Let's see.
We have a call. Who's this?
Hello? Okay, my daughter now is basically she's already come on the show.
She's
calling me and
sabotage.
I'm too
Keep it
loud.
down. Too loud.
Right, we're gonna work on that. Thank you. Thanks, caller.
I'm gonna check out the levels on you and then myself at the same time. What do other people say about our levels? Because I got them bouncing around. Why don't you talk, Paul, just real quickly there?
Okay, we're just.
You might be a little loud. I'll turn you down a little bit.
Checking levels and how loud we are.
Because you tend to go a little louder than me. That's for sure.
I'm a loud. A lot of people have told me over the years, you are loud, and I've heard that over the years. I get that, and I understand, and I try to work on that. I try not to be, loud guy, and then it just doesn't work. I end up being that guy, the loud guy, and so, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm working on it.
It's it's like you got that, you have that broadcasting voice. What can you do?
Right. Exactly. It's all So I did not see this with the people in the coffee shop in Michigan. Where that's a good.
Yeah, that was a good. I was like, oh, yeah. I pretty much stopped watching TV after the election. I'm like, when I saw it was, because I was like, oh my God. So.
Yeah, no, the whole thing, but I mean,
look, I'm not full on like it's the end of the world. I gotta say, I got a feeling that probably I will not be having health care, so I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah, but see, the thing is,
other people are concerned about other things that are maybe even more serious, or more pertinent to them. So there is a fear for sure of the unknown,
Yeah. No,
so we'll see.
I think the best.
Well, okay, I'll say this, and I keep saying this, is because of this guy Trump, he is not going to want to be such a jerk and an asshole to the whole country and the world, so that his fortunes and his family's fortunes are going to just be up in smoke. So it behooves him, and I'm sure he's a smart enough guy to know, look, let's make everyone happy. Let's calm the troubles here, and let's prove that we actually are going to make this work. So.
Well,
I don't think so in that sense, I think we're probably a little better off than we're all too worried about. But a little hope. There's a little hope here,
If he's gonna have,
got a little hope. I got a little hope.
If he's gonna have his family running his businesses in a blind trust, but then they're also going to be his cabinet.
Yeah.
He's going to be working things to his own.
Believe me, there's going to be a lot of problems here. But however, if he plays the game of what he promises to had done, the rhetoric, if he follows through with the rhetoric, those businesses are going to tank.
What are you talking about? His
businesses.
Oh well.
And I think, and ultimately, that's what he would like to protect and make even better and better and bigger and bigger.
Basically, it's basically like we elected Conrad Hilton. We elected a Hilton as president. Because what does the guy do? He he puts his name on hotels, and stuff. I mean, it's like Hilton, President Hilton, President Holiday Inn.
Well,
I mean, it's like whatever, man.
Well, anyway, all I'm saying is that that's the saving grace. Even if he is somehow determined to be through the rhetoric he had pointed out, like he wants to follow through, but he has enough history of in the past of being all over the place on what he wants to do or what he says. So.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at his history, he he was basically close to bankrupt or whatever in the 90s, and it was things were so bad that the bank basically just propped him up because they were going to lose so much on the whole thing going under that that's what he's been living on.
Are we going to see his taxes now? I mean, is that going to be ever been shown?
I mean, not until his audit is over.
Oh yeah, the audit that never is over, or it's always an ongoing audit.
He's like audited every year, I mean, like.
All right, okay. So we're not going to see his tax. I want to see his taxes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. The thing about looking at somebody's taxes, I mean, I had, and again, I'm not an apologist for the guy, but if you're going through an audit, then the last thing you want to do is disclose your taxes. I mean, I don't, whatever. I don't blame him. He's also running for president, but at the same time, there's no law that says because you're running for president that you have to.
All right. So
return.
apparently we're not going to get to his taxes that show that somehow he has some business dealings with Russia and Putin.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know either, but that's
Who knows?
speculation.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. I didn't really want to get into talking about that.
Okay.
We're into escape. Let's escape. Let's fly away, people. Let's fly away to something else.
So you want to talk about? Well, okay, fine. No, we don't.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I can keep.
We're not gonna figure that out.
Yeah. Well, that's just it.
There's a lot of. Can I just say one last thing?
All right, one more thing, which is about another 10 minutes or 12, right?
No. It's very simple, and it's basically somebody.
One sentence. Say it in one sentence.
Somebody on Facebook said something about, if Trump, you're on the airplane and Trump is the pilot, and so if you're wanting him to fail, then that's like you're gonna crash, right? And you're on the plane. So kind of we're all in this together. It's kind of. I mean, I know it's kind of mamby-pamby, but
that's really beautiful.
And I really did a terrible job.
That was such a beautiful
recreating whatever that post was on.
Hey,
Facebook.
well, how about this? There was initially the fact that he was winning or was going to win. The stock market was like full on crash mode, and now it is like full on like highest levels ever.
Exactly.
Wow, what's that about?
That's interesting. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
Interesting, huh?
The stock market is up. People are, investors are excited.
I got a feeling that was going to be the case either way, because I think people were just sick of this election no matter what, because it just, and I think we're at fault for watching too much of the fucking news. We watch too much. I'm so mad at myself for watching CNN all day long, all 24/7, and it's like watching KNX 1070, or KFWB, which is not on, or they don't do that anymore. Every 20 minutes we tell you the same thing. Every 20 minutes, remember? We give you the world in 20 minutes, and then we're gonna repeat it again every 20 minutes. Well, yeah, I mean, when we freak. Oh man. So
you know what that's called in the news radio business? That's called the 20-minute newsreel.
Yeah, well that just sucks.
Newsreel, I believe. Yeah, you give us 20 minutes, we'll give you the world. And they do that on. Where they still do that is 1010 Wins in New York City. They still do that same format. It's really cool. It's a fun station to listen to.
What about
1010 Wins?
Can you get a little beep sounds, like maybe for the traffic? What do they got, like weird little beep sounds like? And now for the traffic, beep 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 beep.
Yeah, I haven't
beep,
listened
beep,
to
beep,
it
beep,
enough
beep,
to know what 1010 Wins does for traffic.
KFWB used to do. Didn't they used to go beep 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 beep?
Did they?
I don't know, or just something. I think that was KFWB.
Yeah,
KFWB News 98.
Yeah, I love that station. That was great, man. KFWB.
Yeah, now they're I think they're doing something else. I don't even know what they're doing.
No, it's like farmed out to some kind of foreign language.
Yeah, Indian. Yeah, that's like foreign.
Indian thing.
I think it's Indian music or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
But they were sports talk for a bit there with Fred Rogan. Fred Rogan was on there. Yeah.
What's his name? What did he call himself? Fred
Rogan.
Yeah, but he had a name from.
Oh, he's the dean.
The dean.
He's the dean of sports talk.
Fred Rogan.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that show was pretty funny. I like that show. I listened to that a few
Well,
times.
he still does a nighttime. He hangs out with Petros Papadakis on Sunday nights, and they talk about after the NBC the Sunday night football game. They hang out and they talk about high school football and NFL football, and
So they've got like a little on-air bromance going on.
Oh man, they've been doing that for a number of years.
Petros, the former USC football player who whose family runs the Greek restaurant.
Yeah, I actually saw him. I met him once at I did one of these TV shows, and he was one of the judges.
Is he like a highly charged individual? Is he like really?
No, he's pretty laid back. No, he's very laid back.
Laid back.
Yeah, he likes reggae and stuff.
Petros.
He was like a fullback for USC.
Did he play?
Yeah.
Did he actually, or was he just on the sideline?
No. He wasn't a star or nothing, but he like played a little bit.
Was he like a blocking guy?
I don't know, man. He's a fullback. He wasn't whatever.
Does he
when
know
you're the
Will
fullback, you don't really do much of anything but block, I guess.
Does he know Will Ferrell?
I don't know. I'd have to ask
isn't
him.
Will Ferrell Mr. USC?
Apparently so. I think so. Yeah.
It's like, okay, John, you're down there.
Yeah, I'm down here.
This is a question for you.
Yeah.
If you want to get into show business, is it better to go to USC?
Oh yeah.
UCLA.
Yeah.
USC or UCLA?
Well, that's a really great question.
I think it's got to be USC.
No, I'll tell you what. I think if you're thinking if you want to be like a film director or whatever, like if you want to be behind the scenes mover, I think USC's the way to go. But if you're just an actor, I don't think it really matters. I think either way.
Yeah, if you're an actor, you might as well just go to like Cal State LA.
Yeah, you might as well go to Northridge. In fact, I think Cal State Northridge has probably as many like news reporters than anyone else, or as not that a news reporter is highly like such a great talent or nothing.
Bill Handel went to CSUN, so that should say something right there. And he's a great actor and morning host on KFI. So there you go.
Well, that says a lot right there.
And so did our older brother Brian, Mr.
Kilduff Shifter.
Kilduff Shifter and former what was the name of his
Electric Peace.
Electric Peace. Neo psychedelia. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
I will kill for your love. Remember that?
Yeah. He also had one
late 80s.
when before the Electric Peace. He had a band called the Peepees, and he had a hot song. It was called
You know what?
I want a girlfriend. I want a girlfriend. All I do is sit at home and masturbate or something.
Yeah.
That played like on K-Rock. It was on K-Rock.
You don't need to go there, John. We don't need.
The Family Show. You're right.
Yeah, it's a family show, but he did have that
big
hit.
That was there.
I want a girlfriend. I want a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, you know it. Yes, that's right. Huh.
Yeah, you can kind of.
Yeah, we won't go further with that.
We won't go. But he definitely. But now the Kilduff Shifter is.
Worldwide.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I talked to him the other day.
In fact, we should run an ad for the Kilduff Shifter right now. Is what we should be doing.
Kilduff Shifter. It's funny because I think you have always had a hard time understanding what the Kilduff Shifter does, but I don't have this problem.
Well, yeah, I'm somewhat car illiterate for sure.
So basically, what our older brother, he makes this shift. It's called a ratcheting shifter, and what it does is, if you're in a drag race in an automatic shift car, and you pull down the shifter, you don't want to have to fish around for it to be in drive. You just want to be able to go boom, so that you can step on the gas and get a jump on the competition. And if you have the Kilduff ratcheting shifter, you don't have to think that it's going to go into drive. You could take a baseball bat, as he's done in his videos, and you just slam on it, and it does go into D drive, and then you go. So you're not gonna if you're fishing around and you have your floor shifter and you fish around and you're like, oh, am I in neutral or what? No, you're just in D. That's what his shifter does. So
all right. Well, that's right. That's good to know. So if you're in the market for a shifter for your muscle car, the Kilduff Shifter,
and you drag race,
Also, you just want to be cool, and you want to kind of go back to the '70s, Van Nuys Boulevard, the Strip, the Cruise, whatever you call it. Yeah.
77 Sunset Strip. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
muscle cars, whatever. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you had a muscle car. You had the Malibu.
Right, I did. Well, it was kind of a sleeper.
But it was a full-on muscle car. I mean, no one would deny.
It
No.
it was kind of.
So Brian never said that was like a full-on muscle car. It wasn't like a Nova SS or something.
No, it wasn't. It was kind of a sleeper. It was a you know what they called that car? They actually called that car the heavy Chevy. Because it was an extremely heavy car, and it had a huge V8 engine in it.
Yeah, it was a beast, but it was a two-door. It wasn't a four-door or.
It was a two-door.
But there wasn't much room in the back. And
to an American, as we are both Americans, any car that has two doors as opposed to four is, by definition, a sports car. So it was. It was a sports car.
So my minivan is a sports car. Probably not.
That was before. That was before.
Of course, I used to like to say when Dodge Chrysler became part of Mercedes-Benz, I'd like to think that my Dodge Caravan was a Mercedes-Benz.
Right. Yeah. You used to make that claim that your car was somehow.
Yeah, it somehow got some legitimacy. Not that a German car is better than an American car. Frankly, I kind of doubt that they are, but somehow they have that mystique, don't they?
Yeah.
German
any
cars.
car made by any of the Axis powers.
What's that about?
Yeah. Any car made by Italians.
Well,
German,
the Italian cars aren't.
Japanese.
They have not
going
done.
to be better than any car made by.
Well, the Fiat, I don't think they've done too well in cars. What's another Italian car? What, a Lamborghini or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I guess that's kind of good, right?
Well, they might. Italian cars might not be very good, but they look good, and that's all that really matters.
That's what it gets down to. It is being the design factor.
It's all about the way that it looks.
But now, if we're talking about practicality, I'd tell you the Yugo, my friend. What was the Russian cars? There were some other cars that were Russians that never quite made it out here, but they would send them to like Cuba, and they didn't fare too well. What were those cars? But they had some Russian cars,
I forget the name of the Russian cars.
Yeah.
But you're right. They were pretty.
They were kind of weak. They were definitely weak.
Good.
They were not.
They were. Yeah. It's on the tip of my tongue. The Russian.
Yeah.
Car. But hopefully someday Cuba will be able to replace its cars with new. New ship.
But wouldn't that be a sad day?
What would
well,
that be sad?
you mean because you're going to go to Cuba now and you're not going to see those old cars floating around just
no, they're not going to, but that's part of the culture. I mean, they'll keep people will be able to do that. It's just that for the person living there who would just like to have a reliable, new car, hey, there you go.
Yeah, I think they should just keep those cars and not have any other cars come in, and you just let them,
So you want Cuba to remain.
I want that historical.
An American classic car museum.
Yeah, like a living classic car museum, that in a sense, and we can clearly get them better, help them out with the upgrade of those cars. I think it would be great. Otherwise, what's going to happen is all those cars are going to be bought and then shipped to like Midwestern, car collectors all over the United States. I say Midwest, but all over. And then next thing you know, Cuba's not even going to have those cars anymore because they sold them all, so that they could get a bigger. Well, I mean, get a piece of the pie. So I guess it's okay, but it'll be a shame. It'd be a damn shame, Paul.
Well, I wonder what our president-elect would have to say about all this. I don't know. I mean, I would think that he would, being kind of the pro-business guy that he is, he would like to see American cars, new ones being sold in Cuba. So, I don't know.
All right. Well, there's two differing points of view. We are the brothers. We don't always have the same viewpoints, and that's because we're different people.
Right. And I think
we are making our own ways in life. We're trying to figure it out ourselves, even though we're brothers.
We've done this. This has been like a solid gold hour, so maybe we're kind of.
This is about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
Any closing recap? We talked about Trump.
So John, so that's good. My closing remarks are, at this point, I'm just like, I don't really have any. I don't have any summation. I mean, my thing. Okay, here's what I do. My thing is, hey, America, let's keep our chins up and hope for the best, okay? Because that's about all we can do at this point. So that's it from my end here in San Francisco. John, from your point of view in Los Angeles.
Well, thanks, Paul, for helping us decipher another exciting week of life.
Yeah.
And we'll do this again if at least a couple of you respond and say, "Man, I really like your show. When are you going to do another keeping it real with the Kilduffs or whatever the fuck your show?"
What is it? No, it's keeping up with the
Kilduffs.
Right.
At least
I think we're going to do one.
We're trying to do it once a week is the idea.
Once a week, I think, is all America can handle right now.
Talking about issues that are bubble up, that just sort of bubble up to the surface, that are important in our lives.
Exactly.
Well,
I'm glad that, and I just want to, and by the way, John, I just want to thank Mark Zuckerberg and everybody at Facebook for allowing us to have this platform and for paying us all the money that we're making doing this, because we are, I am really just swimming in cash, and it's great. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you very much. Now I'll be able to pay my health insurance. We'll see you guys hopefully next week.
All right. Signing out from San Francisco.
All right. From Los Angeles. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.